Hi guys, this is Neverending Reader and I'm Brittany, and today's video is going to be the Campfire book tag. So I believe the original poster of this tag is Jaded Reader, and Chloe is the one who tagged me, so I will leave them both linked down below. And the first question is, build a tent, a book that you had to read that ended up being a drag. So just to clarify, I never have to read anything really unless it's for school, but I can't think of anything that I read for school that ended up being a drag. So for this question, I just decided to go with something that I buddy read that I was actually really excited about and it ended up sucking. And that book is The Wife Between Us by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. As I've said in a previous video, I had really high hopes for this and it ended up just being pretty awful. The plot twists were kind of sucky and the ending kind of sucked, and I just really have zero opinion on this. I plan on unhauling it soon, so look forward to this being in a future unhaul video. I don't have anything else to say about this except I really disliked it. Question number 2 is build a fire, a book that you were proud you finished. And for this question, I'm going to go with It by Stephen King because it is literally massive. This bad boy is over 1,000 pages, and the last time I read it, I was actually like 16 years old, and it took me like 3 days of non-stop reading. And I remember when I finished it, I was like sitting on my grandma's porch, and it was like a nice summer night, and it was like 4 a.m. and the second I closed the book, I was so proud because it was so many pages, but also so sad because I really loved this book. And I'm sure you all understand when you finish a book that you really love, it's kind of sad to end it. But now that I've got this new edition that I am absolutely obsessed with, I'd like to give it a reread as soon as possible. Question number 3 is Roasted Marshmallow, a mushy sweet book you couldn't help but devour. And for this book, I'm going to go with To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. I don't actually have a physical copy of that book, but I have this one, so I'm just going to show it. If you've been on my channel a while, you know that I don't love contemporary, so when I picked up To All the Boys I've Loved Before, I had literally no hope for it. But honestly, it was like the mushiest, cutest little romance that I ever read, and I am super obsessed with the series now. This is the last book in the series, and I plan on reading it as soon as I can because I adore these characters. Question number 4 is Gone Fishing, a book that had you hooked by the first chapter. And for this question, I'm going to go with Three Dark Crowns by Kendare Blake. And honestly, I'm cheating a little bit because Three Dark Crowns actually had me hooked just by the synopsis. I mean, 3 girls who are all like vying for the throne and they have to kill each other to get there. That is just exactly the type of book that I'm into, and from the first page I was like, this is my type of book. So yeah, in my opinion, these books are a big mood and I love them. Question number 5 is Skipping Rocks, a book or series that you DNF'd or did not finish. So for this question, I'm going to go with the Matched series. I will put a little blah 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 right here. I apparently don't have words today, but I unhauled these books a really long time ago. And that is because I read the first book, Matched, and I loved it. But then I read the second book and I was like, what the fuck happened to these books? Because honestly, this is trash. Matched was like a guilty pleasure type of read. Like, it was really good and it could have went really good places, but the next book was awful. And I didn't even give the third book a try. I just finished the second book. I think I finished it, and then I took the whole series and donated it. We have a little free library. It's like this mailbox type of thing that you can put donated books into and kids can come grab them at school because it is actually located at the elementary school. So I just took them all and put them in there because I thought maybe somebody who was younger would actually enjoy them more. So I hope that trilogy found a good home because it is missing from the little library now. I donate to that all the time, and so I know all of the stuff that I put in there. I know what gets taken and what doesn't. So I hope some child found those books and adored them, but I personally did not. Question number 6 is Campfire Songs, a book so good that you are always singing its praise, and for this, to no surprise, I'm going to go with Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. I mean, what kind of video would this be if I wasn't talking about Strange the Dreamer, because it is my favorite of all time. I know some people don't love this, and to those people I just say that you're wrong. This is my favorite book, and it used to pain me to say that because I love Harry Potter so much, and that has been my favorite book since I was a little kid. But man, I just got mad love for this book. I will never stop talking about it, and I'm really sorry about it, but not actually. Question number 7 is The Night Sky, a book that made you think deeply about the world. And for this, I'm going to go with Speaker for the Dead by Orson Scott Card. I believe this is the second book in the Ender's Game series, but I'm not really sure because I think I accidentally read all of these out of order. So this book follows our main character, Ender, after the events of the first book, which is Ender's Game. Ender is much older now, and he is living on this different planet because if you didn't know, these are sci-fi, and the war was actually between like humans and aliens. And I don't know, I read this book probably 5 years ago now, and it still is something that I think about frequently. I cried many, many times while reading this, and there was not even really a reason for me to be crying. I just felt so much compassion, and I think this book was actually a huge learning experience for me at the time. It just means a lot to me, and I love this series. I don't know why it's not talked about on BookTube a lot, but I think this is a wonderful sci-fi series, and I absolutely love these books, and they make me think so deeply about how I'm showing compassion and to who. And the last question is The Teardown, a book that's ending was bittersweet. And for this, I could obviously go with Strange the Dreamer or Muse of Nightmares because I'm never going to stop talking about them ever. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to go with The Neverending Story. I got so much love for this book, and for so many personal reasons. There are just events in my life that correlate to this book, and like happy memories or memories that I cherish very deeply even though they aren't happy. And every time I finish this book, I just want to cry and start it all over again because it, honest to God, means so much to me. And I think that's coming from a place where it being such a personal book to me. I don't know if everybody else would feel the same way that I do, but for me, this is one of the most important books that I've ever read or will read in my entire life. And every time that I read the last page, I will always be sad, but also happy that I have this book because of the memories that it brought me. And that is the end of this video, and I will catch you all in my next video. Bye!